SRC.
Welcome everybody to today's webinar. Get your product data flow right, the benefits of PIM software. That is what we will be discussing today. And we, that is me, Pieter Verhooyen. I'm a marketing manager at SRC. I will give a short introduction on who SRC is and what we do, and how you can benefit from using PIM software. That's what I will do at the end of the webinar, because I'm joined today by my colleague, Paul.
Hello, I'm Paul Laan, product owner of our PIM solution, and I will be talking about what is the use of a PIM, how can workflow help you with that, and also give you a short live demo of the product.
Exactly, and we will end the webinar with a short Q&A. Well, short, that's all depending on how many questions you ask during the webinar. Now, how can you ask questions? You can ask questions during the whole webinar. I will monitor them while Paul is doing his presentation. But we will tackle them at the end. You can ask them via the questions panel you can see on your GoToWebinar panel. If you cannot stay for the entire webinar, no worries. We will see the questions coming in and we will answer them anyway via email or live during the webinar. Now, before we dive into the slides, we are curious to hear from you how you are managing your product information right now. So we are going to conduct a quick poll, and I'm going to launch it now. Oh, I think it's not on the screen yet. Maybe you have to launch it. Let's see. Oh no, the votes are coming in, I see. Great. So the options are, how are you currently managing your product information? You can select multiple checkboxes because there's multiple ways to manage your product information. You can use Excel sheets. You can use a PIM solution, PIM software, or other software. You could use all of the above, or you are not responsible for managing product information. That's also a possibility. So I see a lot of votes are coming in with two clear winners. Don't hesitate to vote. I'll keep the poll open for 10 more seconds. Yeah. Okay, I'm closing the poll and I will share with you the results. I hope you can see them on the screen. 38% is using Excel sheets right now, and another 38% is not responsible for managing product information. 15% is using a PIM solution. So those are really clear winners, and there's a lot to gain there for the PIM solutions. So I'm going to hide the poll, and we will resume the presentation. Yeah. So before we dive into the presentation of Paul with the live demo, let me give you a short introduction. Who is SRC, if you don't already know us? We are located in Hoorn, the Netherlands. We are a European software provider with a strong focus on the Benelux and Germany, and since recently also the UK. We service 500 PIM and EDI clients every year with 30 employees. And we develop, implement, and service our own high-end PIM software, and we do it all in-house. We have customers in all ranges of companies, but also A brands like Pepsico, Laan, and others. And we have over 20 years experience with data standards like GS1, PS and food service, or ATIM. So what's a PIM exactly? PIM stands for Product Information Management, and PIM software helps you managing all your product information in one central place. That makes your PIM software or solution the one central source of truth. In SRC PIM, we integrate current data standards which make sure your product information is always first time right before it's sent to the market. We also offer you insight in your data quality. We can, with our dashboard and validation tools, you immediately can find and identify where the gaps are in your data quality. Our PIM solution is a modular one, which means we have a foundation, a base, on which you can build with different modules to enhance your data process flows, such as digital asset management module, blending, supplier portal, etc. And we offer a whole range of integrations, API, custom plugin, Magento, etc. Now I will give the microphone over to Paul and the mouse.
Thank you very much, Peter.
You're welcome.
Okay, so first, let's have a look at this image. This illustration illustrates on the left hand what's happening in a lot of companies, that product information of different types, so just the data is scattered around different departments and different places in the organization, and images and documents the same. It's not well organized and not easy to find or to maintain. And to the right side, you see the situation you would like to have an organized, structured flow of your product information. And in the middle, SRC that can help you get from the left to the right situation. And starting with the left side, so the chaotic scattering of information across the organization, the poll also indicates that a lot of product information is managed in Excel. And we usually see is that it's spread across departments. Logistic information is handled by a different department than sales information and marketing information. Images and documents are handled by different departments. And they all have their own system of usually an Excel sheet or a folder or a SharePoint where all this information is stored. And maintaining this information in this way is a lot of work. And Excel has no real consistent way of validating the data that is entered. And also the definition of your product information is not consistent across departments. So an article description in one department can be completely different in another department. And there's no governance. It's unclear who can change what is the latest version, the latest state of your product information. There's no central point where all product information can be found. And there's no easy way to check if whatever information is there is valid, is approved by someone. And sometimes it's not checked at all. And on top of that, with all the manual work that you have done in different departments, probably about 80% of this data has an overlap because everyone has product numbers, product descriptions, and they're maintained in several places without knowing, and that's really a waste of time. And then on top of that, wherever your product information is needed, in internal systems like an ERP or a warehouse management system, or external systems like data pools or websites or web shop or marketplaces, information is typed into these other systems again from the Excel sheet or from other systems into the different target systems. And because it's done by different departments, different people in different ways, again, the consistency is not there. And it's time consuming, again, inefficient, and it's very easy to make a mistake when typing things into other systems. Back to this illustration, what can you do to change the chaos of the scattered product information into a structured, orderly, organized set of product information? Well, in the middle, you need a structured process, and you need a single source of truth, so a single place where everyone knows, here is my product information, and it's handled by different people in different departments, but still always you can find it over there. And to use it in a structured process, so looking at this image from the left to the right, of course, it starts by gathering information that you already have in different systems, or maybe from suppliers, or in different files. For example, the Excel files we talked about. Gather them, import them into your single source of truth, process them. So there might be business rules, adding default information that's missing from the source systems. If there's still information missing because it's not available in any other system, you can enrich them in your PIM solution. And whatever data you then have is validated against, could be the market standard rules, validations, or it could be your internal company-specific validations that can be added. And on top of that, you can add an approval step. So someone responsible for the data quality can have a look at the data and decide if it's not right, send it back to the correct responsible for that piece of data. Or if it's okay, then approve it. Just a sip of water. And when the product is then completely checked and complete, it's ready to be shared with target systems like a data pool, website, marketplaces, or directly to your customers. Because data is managed by different departments, you could set up a workflow where each department is responsible for a specific set of data. For example, logistics department has to provide the logistics data, product specifications maybe by another department, and the digital assets, so the images and the documents, maybe again another department, and all adding up to get in the end to the final complete product that is complete with all the data and all the related documents. Now, going towards the live demo, what I would like to show is a very small workflow process, starting with this simple Excel file with just two pieces of information, the article number and the description. So the first thing I will do in the demo environment is import this file. And importing this file will trigger a workflow for each new item. And the workflow is configured like this. So there are 4 steps. The first 2 steps, the product manager is responsible for them to enrich some information. And in the second step, to enrich some category specific information. So depending on the type of product, a different set of attributes is needed. Then there's a step of a quality assurance that does the check if the quality is okay. If not, you can send it back to the product manager to correct information. And if it's correct, it's approved. And then the publication manager is a final step, can determine what target system this product needs to go to. And that's the end of this specific workflow. I'll now move to the PIM solution to start with the import of this Excel sheet. Now the PIM solution has 4 main areas, and the one you're looking at now is the dashboard area. It gives an overview of, for example, your quality of your product data. It's an interactive widget system, so you can modify it, customize it, and you can click on a specific of these areas to go to those specific articles. And some quick access to recently changed items or saved filters. Second area is your catalog. So that's, in this case, a catalog of 141 items, of which 126 are assigned to a data pool and 8 are assigned to a website. We will get back to this area later. The integrated DAM, so all your digital assets in one place, and the ability to connect them to the specific articles that they are applicable to. So this can contain images and documents and certificates and so on. And the final part is the workflow to-do list for the specific user that's logged on. In my case, there are no to-do items for me waiting for me. So I'll go back to the catalog and import the Excel file that I've just shown. And importing information is handled in the background, and at the top right you see this progress that the import is working, and when it's finished I will be notified by a red dot, as you see now, and that means that the import is finished. I can look at the log file if I want to, and it's configured to automatically create and start this specific workflow that I've just shown for 2 items. And on the left side, now you see that on my to-do list there is an indicator, and it also has work on the clipboard. And if I go there, I see that for the 2 items that I've imported, there are now 2 tasks waiting for me because I'm the product manager in this specific case. And I can start with the first one. Well, at the top in the middle, you see the information that I provided in the Excel sheet. It's of course imported and is displayed over here. And on top of that, some default values are added. So the consumer unit indicator is automatically set to yes, and the text category is set to high because in my case, all my products are in the high text category. So I don't have to provide that information. It's already pre-filled because that's always the case, or maybe in 90% of the cases. To the right, we see that some information is missing. The validation area shows what validations are still not okay. So, for example, classification must be filled and the brand name must be filled. And to quickly get to these specific areas that I have to solve, I can just click on the attribute. It will highlight the attribute in the middle part. In this case, it's a bath, so I'll just type bath, and it will show the categories that I could apply. If I save this change, the item is revalidated, and you see that now the only validation that's still there is about the brand name. So for the brand name, I can do the same. Select one from the code list of available brand names. Save it. Item is now complete, and I can advance to the next step. In this process, optionally, I can add an image from my DAM. Maybe this is the one. Yes, this is the one. I can assign it. And that's now also connected to this specific product. Then this was the first step of enrichment. I click on next. And because I'm responsible for the second step as well, it's automatically opening the second step, which is enrichment of the category specific information. The classification bath, that's what I selected in the previous step. Automatically, the corresponding GPC code, which is the global product classification code of GS1, is assigned. And some bath specific information can be enriched, and there's also a validation that says if the classification equals bath, then the water capacity must be filled. So I'll fill in on purpose a too high value, and the location of the drainage hole on all my baths is central, so it's automatically filled in. Again, I save and I click on the next. For me, I'm ready with this workflow, because the next step is a different responsible, and that's the quality assurance to do the check on this information. I could log in as a different user, but I have a quick way to look at the to-do list of the quality department. And over here you see that the quality department now has a to-do item on their workflow list. And that is to check the quality of the information that I've just provided. The information is read-only because they cannot change it. They just need to approve it. If everything looks fine, they can just click on approve. But in this case, the water capacity seems a bit high. So on the bottom right, you can type, please check the water capacity. It seems high. And I click on the button to send it back to the category specific step. If I now look at my personal to-do list, I see that the bath is now back on my list. I can open it and I can see the remark by quality. I made a mistake, it must have been 150. And I can add a comment again. And proceed to the next step. Back to the quality again. Can see that I made a remark and modified the data. I think it's now fine, and approve this step. And the final step is the publish step. So there is some information at the top to identify which product this is about, and then the choice to publish this to the data pool and or to website. For this product, maybe I only want to send it to the website. And finally click on publish to activate that. If I look at the catalog, we now see that the website at the start of the demo had 8 items. And because I added this item to the website, it's now added to this collection as well. Well, the same process we can see for this other product. Again, I have to select the category. And because this is a different category, I must provide the brand name. This is a different category and now get different additional category specific attributes that I can fill in. For example, is this sink included with a tap? No, it's not. And all my sinks are including a plug indicator, so that's already pre-filled. Well, and then the process is the same as we've seen before. So that was the demo of what how the PIM solution, including workflow setup and other business rules, can help you to organize and to get rid of the spread of Excel sheets everywhere across the organization and get it into one single source of truth and be able to manage it in a nice way.
Okay.
Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Paul, for that nice demo. So now, before we round up and go to the questions, let me give you a short summary of how you can benefit from a PIM solution. I think Paul's presentation and demo has already showed us a lot about how you can benefit from the PIM solution, but just let me give you a short roundup. So why would you go for a PIM solution? You can process data more efficiently by minimizing the manual labor that goes into the data collection and enriching. You avoid making mistakes, just like the bathtub example. Your data is always up to date and checked. You can improve your internal processes by using a workflow. And thus, you achieve better data quality and consistency across your whole catalog. That means also a shorter time to market for your products because it's easier to fill in all the details and you have a great product, great data flow to check on everything. And that means higher revenue and happy customers in the end, because by delivering your customers trustworthy product data, they make informed buying decisions, they return less items, and that results in higher customers happiness. Now, what do we offer as SRC? We offer a PIM as a modular solution. This means you always get a basic, as you will, SRC PIM foundation in which you can manage and store your product information for your whole organization as your central source and only source of truth for all your product data. But we extend that functionality with all kinds of modules, as you can see here. Let me give you 2 examples of modules that we offer. We already touched on the digital asset management module that was shown in the demo, but also workflow, of course, reporting, dashboards, where you could see in the demo what the insight is on your data quality. And we have many more integrations and modules available to add to your PIM to really optimize all the process flows, data process flows. Get in touch with us if you want to know more about any of these subjects, or check our website, of course. Now, one customer of ours, Pepsico, uses a range of modules and, of course, the SRC PIM solution. We all know Pepsico, of course. Who doesn't? Here are some numbers. Pepsico has 20 brands under their name, active in 200 countries, 135,000 employees, and $70 billion in revenue yearly, or at least for last year. Pepsico and SRC have a long-standing relationship. It was already in 2004 that Pepsico contacted SRC because their external web application they were using was not user-friendly at all. For Pepsico, the benefits of working with SRC were clear, and we as SRC are proud to serve Pepsico in reaching their data quality targets year on year. And as they say it themselves, we don't say that, they can reach the highest possible data quality thanks to the PIM and DEM integration. So they use one system to manage and publish information to their customers. And also it's important for them internally as well. So the amount of manual work just decreased significantly for them, and they are reaching their targets. If you want to know more about this story, there's more to it than just this slide. This story is not on our website yet or not available yet, but we offer this story exclusively to attendees of this webinar, so you can expect it in your mailbox sometime soon. So let's go to the questions now. I've seen some come in during the webinar. I have a question by Patrick for Paul. Is it possible to see the linked assets in the workflow view?
Not yet at the moment, but that is planned for future release to see that. If you go back to the catalog view, you will see the attached asset or image attached to the correct product, and it can be many to many. So you can have one image that attached to many products, and one product can have multiple images and documents.
Okay, that's clear, I think. One other question that I see coming in is it possible to configure parallel tasks in the workflow, and what is the dependence on one of the other?
Yeah, it is possible to set up a flow that has 2 departments or 2 responsibles doing work in parallel. Somewhere in the process, it will get back to maybe to the quality assurance to do the complete check. And the quality assurance step will wait for all the parallel tasks to finish before the task on the quality assurance desk is dropped on their desk.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can set up parallel steps, and it's automatically handled when the step has to go to the next responsible.
Okay. I hope that's clear for who asked that question. I see we have one last question, unless somebody types one in really quickly. Where do the validations in the workflow come from? Are these all standard or customizable? Where do they come from?
Yeah, It can be a combination. So if it's a validation from one of our standard models that we support, you can select them and you can use them, apply them to a specific step, or you can add your own customer-specific validations and apply them to a specific step. So that's completely configurable and how you want to use it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, I think we have rounded up all the questions that we received today. So I will leave you with this. Oh, that was a bit too quickly for me. If you want to achieve and maintain product data excellence, give us a call or send us an email at sales@src.eu or have a look at our website. For now, I want to thank Paul for the great presentation and live demo, and I want to thank you for attending today's webinar. If you have any other question, we are, of course, always available to you. So thank you for attending and have a nice day.
Thank you.
SRC.